Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining our diagnostic training session today. And what you're about to see is a pre-recorded training session we did over in the United States. But be assured that a lot of the material that we cover is really applicable to any automotive application. So just be aware that yes, it is a lot of North American vehicles, but they will apply a lot of the same principles apply over in the UK as well. Now, if you do have any questions, if you're watching this during the premiere, you can just leave it in the chat. We'll be monitoring live chat. If you're watching this after the premiere, then just feel free to leave a comment underneath the video and we'll get to those as we can as well. So my name is Jason Gabrenas. I'm one of Snap-on's diagnostic technical trainers. I've been in the training department since 2013, traveling around North America, helping techs and shop owners get the most out of their diagnostic equipment. Before I did that, it was a couple years as a diagnostic sales rep at Snap-on, so I had 30 different franchisees I worked with, as well as the shops that they serviced in order to help everyone get the most out of their diagnostic needs. Then before I did that, it was 8 years at Subaru, so I worked in a dealership, and over time, I guess, just became the default diag guy in the shop. So I always ended up having the drivability problems, the intermittent problems, the weird wiring problems that would show up on those cars. And that's really where I cut my diagnostic teeth, was trying to figure out all those weird head scratcher type cars that would come into my bay. Then before that, a bunch of other miscellaneous wrenching jobs. Been a little over 25 years under hood experience for me. Power user functions. It's going to be part 2 of what may end up being a multi-part series. Not sure yet, but last time we talked a little bit about a couple different things you might not be aware of with your tool. This time, we're going to talk about something else that you might not be aware of was part of your tool, and it could help you with sharing, can help you with asking for help if you need to do so, especially like sharing screenshots and things of that nature. So let's talk about the S button menu, which is where we're going to spend most of our time here. We'll also talk about sharing a little bit later. But the S button is a powerful little button that you can program to do multiple different things on your Snap-on scan tool. So they operate a little bit differently depending on what kind of tool you have. So on Windows-based tools, easy enough on Zeus and Veris Edge, we got the little S button right on the front, nice and easy. If we got a Zeus Plus, the S button's on the top. All of the buttons have been moved to the top, give us more screen real estate, right? So all I have to do is hold down on this button, and it will launch a menu here. And then if you click on the settings down there, it's going to give you the options as to what do I want this button to do for me when I press it. So we can have it first and foremost, probably the most common one that everybody does is screenshot. So if I press that S button, it'll take a snapshot picture of what's on the screen, save it for me. It'll upload to the Snap-on cloud. If you have that set up, it also saves it to the tool, which allows me to share. So if I, for example, I'm in a few Facebook groups there, diagnostics Facebook groups, and people will post pictures of their screens, like they'll take a picture on their phone or something like that, and maybe some of the screen is chopped off. You can't quite see some of the information that you might need. Like, hey, do I have this scope set up right? Well, I don't know what it's set up to because you clipped off the little part at the time. I don't really know what it's set up to. So things like that. So we want to be able to take a screenshot of a scope pattern or scanner, movie, what's on the screen. Hey, do these fuel trims look okay? That sort of thing. So I can then share it with my customer, share it with other people on the internet if I want to ask questions, things of that nature. So that's usually the most common one that most people set it to. Next one on the Windows-based tools, they all have cameras built into the back, so you can have it so it turns on the camera when you press the button. So you can see right here, it brings up a little camera dialog. We got the actual picture right here that we're taking. And then if we want to take a picture, we just simply tap where it says photo, and it'll take a picture for us. We also have a way to browse the gallery and, of course, exit from there. Next one's keyboard. Not sure how often you might use this because there's other ways to turn the keyboard on. And honestly, a lot of folks out there also have a workstation set up with their wireless keyboard anyways. But if you do need it to pop up the keyboard more often than anything else, you can set it to keyboard and it'll pop up the little keyboard for you there on the bottom. Next one's brightness. So what this does is it adjusts the screen brightness up and down, depending on where you're at environmentally. If you're outside, you're probably going to want it brighter. And I'll tell you, the Zeus Plus is quite a bit brighter than the older Zeus, but You still may want to adjust that brightness up or down, so you can do that as well. You just keep hitting the button, the brightness will go up, and then it'll stop, and then it'll beep, and then it goes back to the darkest setting, and so on and so forth. You can just cycle through that. Or I can tell the tool that I want the shortcut menu to pop out, and then I can choose what I want from the touch screen that way. So if I wanted a screenshot, I can click that. If I wanted the camera, I can click that. If I wanted the keyboard, I can click that, and so on and so forth. So that's setting the default on that S button. Like I said, most people use that screenshot. On the non-Windows based tools, so like our Solus, Apollo, Triton, Modus series, those types of tools, the S button's all in the same place, so that makes it nice and easy. But in order to set it up, we do need to go into a menu. So we're going to go into the tools menu there. And you can see it's the third one down. It's going to be, say, configure shortcut key. And then it tells you underneath that what it is set for. So right now this tool is set for brightness, and that's the first option. And you can just take it up and down, scroll up and down using your finger on the newer tools. The older tools, you just kind of looking up and down with the arrow. And you can't really capture it with the video screen, but you're able to move it from like 0 or 10 to 100, depending on what brightness level you want it at. Next one, if we click on it again and give us a save screen, which once again, that's your screenshot, that it'll save there. And then it'll just default to that. And the next time I press the button, it'll save a screenshot and then tell me that it was saved. And here's the file name. Click it again, and that gives us a save movie function. So this is a little bit different than what we have on the Windows tools. It's actually put in a request for that on the Windows tools to have that option. But this is if I'm in recording data and I don't have any PID triggers set or flags or anything like that, I can simply press the S button and it'll save the movie for me. You know, driving along, the car starts hicking up and bucking and what have you. I can just press the S button and it'll save it for me instead of having to find the save button on the screen. Could be useful in some situations. So just like that, we can go in, we'll hit save, it'll save it, and then it'll upload it, or it'll save it to the tool. That one doesn't upload. And then the last thing is, do I want it to show me a shortcut menu where I can choose multiple options? So if I were to set it that way, it's going to come over here and it'll give me the options for brightness, save screen, save movie, and pause would be in there if I had, if I was in data, actually going and recording data at the time, I'd be able to do that as well. So in this case, we don't have that, so we don't need to worry about that. But I would, like I said, normally most people leave it save screen so they can save that screenshot and then manage the files that way. So let's look at how we might do some of these things. Let me pull up my... All right, so I got an Apollo here. And one thing that we would need to do first off is you need to make sure it is connected to your Snap-on Cloud account if you're going to use that. So in order to do that, we go into the tools on the bottom right. And then second one down there is get connected. We go in there. And then we will need these numbers. So we'll need the serial number of the pin and the code in order to get us to allow us to connect to the tool. And then we also need to go to the website, so altusdrive.com, to do that. So let's go over and do that right now. So I'm logged into my Altus Drive account. Let's see. So logged into my account. Now, in order to add a tool, we would need to go here under Profile and then open the Profile Manager. It's going to have us log into our account again. And there's my last session, so we'll log out of that. Log into this. There's all your information, but down over here we have device management, so that's where we want to go. If you go in a device manager, it's going to list all your different devices here that you have loaded in. You see some of these have been in here since, say, 2018, right? So they're anything you have registered is available, but if it's not registered, like this one right here, is the tool that's sitting in front of me. So I want to reload that in here. All right, so I removed it. Now I want to add it. So I'm going to go down to add device, and then we'll just plug in the serial number. That one right there. And then I need to pin off the tool, which is going to change every single time I'm in there. So anytime you leave that screen, it changes. There we go. Oh, save it up. Done. All right, so it's saved. So now anything that is saved on the tool will be available in my files. So from my first class this evening, I had this screenshot that I took. And so I had the screenshot right there. And I was able to share that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I also have my vehicle system report that I did. So I went through and did a pre-scan on a vehicle, and it's going to give us our little report here as well. We can print that out. We can share it. We can save it with our customers if we wish to do so. You can also see there's a ton of stuff in here, right? So how do I possibly go through this? Well, it's going to automatically tag these. So if I go in here and look at the bottom, it's going to give me tags. So it's going to tell me what tool it was on, what the serial number was, what it is. So in this case, we have a screenshot, VIN, year, make, model, all of that good stuff. So in this case, it's a screenshot. So if I wanted to look up just screenshots, screenshot right there, it's going to pull up just screenshots. I take a lot of screenshots. So that's a lot. What if I want to look at photo though? Photos that have been taken with the tool. So these are pictures I've taken at, various seminars, whatever's on the table there, just to show how the camera works, right? So we have the camera on the back, and I'm able to see that. So on the tools with the camera, such as the Zeus, the Varus, tools like that, those have the camera built into the back. So those camera pictures actually do upload as well. And then also we have thermal pictures from Thermal Imager, right? So we have a side-by-side picture there that we uploaded for a cooling vent. A couple other things. There's like air conditioning. So we get the full thermal, the mix with the data, and then we also have the full picture there. So that's kind of nice. That's a Thermal Imager Elite uploads those, so you can have those available as well. And then let's say, if I wanted to do vehicle system reports, they call those VSRs. I can just go through like that. Could search year, make, model. And then the last one is, there's more than that, but the ADOS report as well from the tool. So an ADOS recalibration report I may have done on a vehicle. It gives you results, pass, fail, and so on and so forth on that particular recalibration you did. All right, so that's available. I could print those out, like I said. I can also download them. I can share them. So let's say that I wanted to come down here maybe. And let's see. Let's say that I want to share this, right? So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to download this. Let's say I wanted to post this on Facebook to get a reaction, right? So let me just save this real quick. Oops, I'm on a different computer. So we'll just open a new folder there and save it. All right. So now let's say I wanted to post that to Facebook and say, hey, what do you think of this picture? Is my, if it feels like a scope or something, hey, is my timing right? Things like that. So I can go in here and we can post it. So let's say I wanted to post a photo and ask people about it. And I can just go to my desktop. I can go to pics, go to that one. And class number 2, post it on Facebook, and there we go. So easy enough, just download it to a folder where you're going to remember it. And then you can just go and upload it right to Facebook or Instagram or wherever you happen to need to go. Like I said, I see a lot of Facebook groups where they ask about, hey, what's this scope pattern look like? How's this scope pattern look? So if you take a screenshot of the whole screen, you don't have to worry about camera being out of focus or out of frame or things like that. You don't have to worry about any of that because it's already there. I can also, if I wanted to, say I wanted to share this file. It's going to generate a link. It can share it via SMS, so that's short messaging system. If I had this open on my phone, I could share it via text message. I can also send it via email. So if I wanted to open up my email, it pastes a link to it in there. I can just type who I want to send it to. And that's just in my Outlook that I have set up on my computer here. So I can just do that. Or I can just copy the link to the keyboard or the clipboard and paste it anywhere I needed to go. And then just go from there, right? So lots of things we can do just with this free service that's available. There's also another free program that we offer called ShopStream Connect. So I'll open that up. And this is for the, this works for actually any of our tools, but especially our non-Windows tools, because the non-Windows based tools, you'd have to actually hook it up to another computer to see these things. So if I wanted to say, like, open this up. So this is a pressure waveform, right? So cranking compression right here. Or running compression. So it's a running compression test that I did for my compression class. But we can see here all of my different things on my waveforms. We can move things around. If I wanted to send this to somebody else for analysis, like, hey, buddy down the street, what do you think of this? You could actually do that. You could go and email it to them. And as long as they also had ShopStream Connect on their computer, they can open these files. These are proprietary file names. So VSM is a scope setting. We also have we got screenshots. So any JPEGs, things of that nature, we can open as well. Anything in there that we would want to save or open, we can do so. Like, for example, I got these from a gentleman that used to work for us, and here is a cylinder with no compression. Right, so I wanted some examples that I could use in class. So here's just one example where it's a cylinder with no compression versus the one right next to it, which had good compression. It should have looked like this. Right, so all sorts of things that we can do with this ShopStream Connect as well as Snap-on Cloud. We can do a lot of things between the two of these. So this is on, like I said, we would use this for sharing any of these files. We can also go, let me pull up my Windows tool here. Pull up my little Tahoe. That thing's still recording from earlier on today. Oh, that's crazy. Let's save that. That's going to take a second because that's in the buffer. There we go. So when I save anything on my Windows tool, if I come down here to the file folder on the bottom, anything I save will be attached over here. So we have a vehicle system report, which would be our printout. So that's in PDF form. And we also have our PID. So here's my PID data that's been recording for a couple hours now because I just let it roll after class last time. It's going to take a second to open up because it's a lot of data. A couple hours. There we go. At this zoom level, you can't even see anything that's going on. So we'd have to zoom in considerably closer to be able to see anything that's going on here. But what this does is it opens in ShopStream Connect's scanner data viewer. So any of our tools you can hook up to ShopStream Connect and it will open and display very much like this. So you can see I have 16 graphs. I can do 12, 8, 6 stacked, 6 side by side, 4 stacked, 4 side by side, 2 stacked, and 1. So we can have them separated like that. We can also move things around. So let's say I wanted to put this mass airflow sensor in with my map sensor as well. I can kind of drag that along and you can see how they line up. Let's say barrel sensor. I'll move that up to there. And my calculated barrel right there. All right, so you can put them all next to each other. You can move things around and see what is going on. Now we can also go in here and I can change the properties of those graphs too. So let's say I wanted to change the color to like this ugly orange color. I can do that. And there we go. Change them all to that silly orange color. Come back over here. Definitely going to change that back to black because that's hard to look at. But we can see that we can change it. We can change them. We can drag them and drop them. We can do a custom data list as well to filter down the list, adjust a few different things if we wanted to. Like let's say I wanted just deselect them. Let's go to mass airflow, map, oxygen sensors, fuel trims. All right. And then save and exit. And then that's all I have right there. You'll be able to see that. And I can arrange them and move them around if I wish to do so. Let's see, 12 there, 12 will come. So pretty useful. I can also drag and drop them like that too. So if I want my long-term field trim like over here, I can do that. Instead of dragging and dropping over here, I can drag and drop over there. You want to drag and drop graphs, you want to drag and drop PIDs, you can certainly do that within the scanner data viewer on, like I said, any PC. This one runs on any PC. The other thing with the Altus Drive, the Snap-on Cloud, is that it is agnostic to what platform you're running it on. So as long as it has a web browser, it should work. It works in the browser. So if I have a PC or a Mac or a tablet or a phone, that Snap-on Cloud service will work no matter what. All right, so that is our Windows-based tools. I actually should get out of here, stop recording. Right. And then as far as what uploads, screenshots, camera pictures, pre and post scans, ADOS reports upload. The scanner data does not, just because of the file size it doesn't. All right, so that's that. One last thing that I want to tell you that I told the other class that I thought of in the middle of class. And this one's kind of interesting. So this is on only the non-Windows based tool. If I go into previous vehicles and data, I go to my saved data. I just want to look at all of them. You're going to see I have a few different things. I got my scanner captures, bitmaps, which are going to be my pictures, screenshots, right? So the bitmaps are screenshots. XML files. So the XML files are the raw data from the code scan before it gets uploaded to the cloud and then converted to a PDF. On the Windows-based tools, they automatically convert to a PDF before they upload, so it's a little different process. So kind of a feature, but not a feature. It wasn't planned to do this, but I find this very interesting, and you may find this interesting as well. So if you go into your saved files and you open one of those pre-scans, you're going to see it looks just like any pre-scan that you would have on a vehicle. Now, the cool thing we can do is I can still click on that code, even if I'm not connected to the car, and I can still get some of my intelligent diagnostics data, the stuff that's hosted on the server. So in this case, we have our top repairs graph can still come up. TSBs will still come up. We'll have access to that. Smart data and functional tests, you won't, just because it's not connected to the car. And then at the bottom here, we still have our experience-based information there. We still have our sure track. We still have our real fixes and our troubleshooter information. So that is kind of a, I don't want to call it a glitch, but it's not really a planned function that's in there. It just kind of happened and it showed up one day. But I find that that could be useful. You know, say you go back in time a little ways to a car from a while ago. Let's go back to, I mean, they're almost all going to be Tahoes because this is just a training tool, but let's pull up this Tahoe from way back in, when was that? October 12th. Can still pull up the information. It'll pull up whatever's current for it, but it just gives you that information there. You're able to go through. You can even change codes as well. So if I wanted to go to that 446, I can do that. It's going to re-download the data for me. Just like that. So that's kind of an interesting little function that you certainly may not have known about because we don't really talk about that one very much. I don't even know if they want me talking about it, but I find that pretty handy, especially we do a lot of scans on a lot of different vehicles. And oh, the car is gone, but what was that TSB on that? I don't remember. Now I can look. I can take a look there. So hopefully with this, you picked up a couple little tips and tricks to take back and use in the shop. And with that, that is our time here today. So make sure you tune in for new diagnostic content every week. We will be premiering a new video every Wednesday at 7 p.m. UK time. So make sure you check it out on the YouTube channel. If you're watching, well, of course, you would be watching this on YouTube, but make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, ring the little notification bell so you know anytime we post new content. And it's youtube.com/Snap-on Diagnostics UK. With that, time for questions. If you have any questions, just feel free. Once again, if you're watching this on a premiere, just leave it in the live chat and we'll answer those. Otherwise, leave a comment under the video and we will get to those as we monitor those comments as well. I'd like to thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to learning a little bit more about how you might be able to be more efficient at diagnosing vehicles using some of the information that we've given you today. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, you can watch and see you on any of our other videos. Have a good week, have a good night, and take care.